Hey everyone, what's going on? This is Dalton at Daltonians TFs coming at you with another Siege review as I adjust my camera. It is going to be the WFC S-14 Shockwave. So, there's the box. There he is, showing off with his red eye. We'll get into that later. And all the individual modes and select opponent. There's only one. It's Magnus. And the Decepticon symbol. So, that being said, let's go ahead and bring in Shockwave all decked out in his spaceship mode. Kind of got that battleship Yamato thing going on, along with I've heard some people say this looks like Galvatron ship. I guess maybe you could turn it around like this. Maybe if you squint and turn your head a little bit. But yeah, there he is in his giant ship mode. And yeah, not terrible. You do get the bridge there, which is light piped. So that is cool. Kind of a nod to, it being Shockwave's head, much like what we kind of had with the other War for Cybertron Shockwave. And bringing in his last counterpart in the Chug series, or Generations line. You can see quite a big difference. They're both ships, I guess. But all you gotta do, turn this into a weapon, is just fold that down. There you go. Combiner weapon. Ship. Weapon. Ship. Weapon. Anyways. For this guy, this is just all added on stuff, so you can go ahead and take this off. We'll just take these off, put them to the side for now. Hopefully I didn't break anything there. That was a pretty loud snap. Anyways. Nah, nothing's broken. That's good. Take those off. Now, like this, you can leave this on. Fold down these fins here on the bridge. Bring this around. And remove this hose from the spire. And plug it in on the side here. And there you got his more classic looking gun mode. This isn't a gun, it's just an upside down ship. Yeah, there's the blaster. And bringing in his masterpiece counterpart, because these are the only other versions of Shockwave that I have. You can see some of the similarities. Go ahead and fold that down. So there's that. Now, one thing I do want to point out, a lot of people were complaining with the masterpiece about it being too bright, and some people are complaining about it being too dark here. I don't mind it, and this is by no means a gripe or anything. It's just a little thought. Personally, I would have loved this kind of in-between purple, but, this darker purple is perfectly fine. It's fine. Shockwave's purple. It's purple. It's good enough for me. So, go ahead and remove this hose. Go ahead and take this all off. Kind of go ahead and bring this up. Bring that up. Bring these out. And there we go. There's the full Shockwave, just as the little gun or spaceship. If you turn it around like this, just a little ship, and you got a bunch of missiles molded in back here. You've got these guns, big thrusters on the back. You got little thrusters here on these, on with those cannons. So let's get this one out of here. And let's look at what all these weapons are being called on here, because just like with Ultra Magnus, there are a bunch. So, these arm ones here are being called the Gamma Disruptor Launchers. These little foot ones, and they're all LV. Well, these ones are anyways. This is the LV1, no. Yeah, this one's just LV. Duo Pulse Radiograph. And then his arm cannon that's attached to him is called the Thermo Range Neuron Beam. It's the LV1. So let's get that out of here because we're never going to look at it again. Now that these are off to the side, I guess we can go ahead and build the little helper drone, I guess. Just want to leave that pretty much like it would be for ship mode. For these, again, same as they would be in vehicle mode, I want to say. Yes. It's these that you want to tab together. There's just a, keep from dropping everything. Just a little tab here, and a little slot right there. Just go ahead and fold those fins in, tab them together, and they will plug onto these spots right here. Oh, I guess we'll do it one at a time. And this is not in the instructions, by the way. I'm just kind of basing this off the render on the box. So there's that. And then you just plug these onto the side right here. And there you've got a little drone, or I like to think of it as his glider, kind of like what we had with the Green Goblin. So from here, transforming Shockwave is pretty easy. Let's go ahead and untab that from there. To, again, untab. Split this whole section around. Split his legs. And bring that there on that kind of Combiner Wars style hinge system. So just bring that up, bring this around, that will tab in, and that will become the outside of his leg, so we'll rotate that this way. Double hinge that out and in, and close that up, swivel it around, and there we got most of Shockwave. From here, open this section up, bring it down, and bring up the camera here. Bring these sections down, or his arms. Plug the hose into his arm. Then just fold this up, down, and around. We'll plug into place right there. Open up his chest, fold out his head, and just tab that into place. And there we've got our Voyager class Shockwave in robot mode, bringing in another Voyager. Here is Prime. So he is a little bit shorter than Prime. Bringing in his oh so great leader, as he would probably say. Here is Megatron. So yeah, he is definitely a little bit shorter for a Voyager, but it's fine. I'm okay with it. Head is on a pretty good ball joint. You get quite a range of mobility. You got hinge, swivel shoulders. Only get hindered by the hose on this side. You got the transformation joint and a full outward shoulder. 360 at the bicep, a little over 90 at the elbow, and you can rotate the gun if you want to for whatever reason. You can rotate the wrist, but it does break up the sculpt of the forearm. So there's that. You got some nice Decepticon symbols there on his forearms. Be nice to get one there on the chest, but oh well. Waist is 360. You got universal joints at the hips, but you get ratchets forward and back. So not as good as Magnus, but they are there. All the way out for the most part. You get 360 thighs. You get ratcheted knees. And you get a little bit of ankle tilt. Get some more of that battle damage. This is actually, some of this is actually molded in here on the feet there. They're just the way they're molded in general. Get some more there. Not a lot of battle damage on Shockwave. At least just the base figure. You do get some silver here on the cable. That's about it. And he's got some amazing light piping. Like, that is just insane. Like, that is very bright. So, as for the platform, you can have him standing on it, just plug into that little port there on his foot. I think it's supposed to be more like this, where he's got one foot here, and the other just kind of floating off to the side like that, firing his gun. So real quick, we'll get the Masterpiece Shockwave in robot mode and do a couple quick comparisons before we go into the, leader Shockwave trying to be General Grievous mode. So, be right back. Alright, so bringing in the Masterpiece Shockwave, you can see a lot of the inspiration drawn. I mean, this drew a lot of inspiration from the cartoon to begin with, but you can see it's like a good mixture between the cartoon and the toy. And one thing I do want to point out, you do have amazing amount of detail here behind the lens. And zooming in here on the head, you can see as I knock him over, a bunch of detail there around the eye. I do appreciate the level of detail that we're getting in these figures, just all around. Some great molded in detail. I know a lot of people are complaining that these are overly detailed, but they look fine. I'm personally fine with it. It doesn't bother me at all. Then again, when it comes to these figures, not a lot bothers me. I'm just happy to see them getting the proper love that they deserve, unlike they did back during Combiner Wars. So, this was the Shockwave we had. Much happier with this. So, getting into his armor upgrade, I guess if you want to call it that. It's not even that much. Let's take off these pieces. Just bring that around. This will plug in. There's a little tiny channel right there with a little nub. I guess we'll go ahead and show that off. It's got a bunch of ports for the the Battle Master and Siege effects all over. Mostly there on his shoulders, the one at his waist and the legs, and of course you can put one on his blaster, which looks pretty good there. So, putting these on, it just plugs into place on the little port right there. Same thing with this one. Plug that on. This one up. Then, for the feet, you can do these one of two ways. You can leave them flat like this, or bring the fin all the way up like that, and have it up against his leg, or out like that, which looks pretty good. Take that off. Bring that. Just plug it there. So there's the most part. Then these, just go ahead and collapse these sections down like this. And that is one nice little thing I forgot to mention, is these little turrets on the front, even though they do kind of get in, the big cannon gets in the way of it. And speaking of this big cannon thing, you can just slide it on here, these little ports right here. We'll just plug onto these little sections on the front of the barrel, just like they did in vehicle mode. Get everything lined up. And there is Shockwave in his super mode, I guess. I mean, it doesn't look terrible, but it doesn't really add a lot of height or mass to him. I mean, yes, you do get the bigger shoulder pads, you do get the bigger backpack, but just to show the size difference between him and Ultra Magnus, well, yeah, Magnus is still quite a bit taller than him at the head and the shoulders. So, I mean, bringing in Megatron here, I mean, they're just closer to the same size. So, it's a little bit disappointing, but at the same time, most people are going to have him without the armor anyways, and without it, he's still a great addition to your collection. You do have some more of these ports here on the shoulders. And then, of course, you can have the guns using them. So that's cool if you want to get a bunch of the fire drive and have him just shooting a bunch of pink beam effects. That's fine. So that's pretty much all there is to say. I guess bringing in the MP, again, not much size difference. And he's still giant compared to the Legends. So that pretty much does it for Shockwave. I really enjoy this. I don't have too much to complain about at all. So that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to check out all the links down in the description and the War for Cybertron Siege playlist, which will be continuing as soon as I get the Wave 2 figures in, whenever that is. But yeah, be sure to check out the links, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, along with Bricks on the Dollar, G1 Hexatron, Primal Sabbath, all queued up, and the Off the Runner playlist. Once again, in the description below, there is a new episode. Check it out. It's just, Primal Sabbath and Bricks, but it's still worth a watch. I mean, it's funny as always, so check those out. And hope you guys enjoyed. See you next time.